Well, this is different. 8:30 at San Jose. I needed to get out of Los Cristianos and away from the tourists. So we were leaving, just gone, well, probably 7:45 when we left. Now we'll follow the new route up through the trees. I think I've said an hour and a half walk. Just to get some fresh air into my lungs rather than locked down at the coast. Anyway, still a bit chilly round here. It's early in the morning, but we'll see how it goes. I've got to go up this bit and off into the forest. Well, this looks like a kind of path. I thought the last time we walked up here and we finished up lost, kind of, but still the campers are just getting up. See, there is a post that way. Let's go this way, see if this takes it up. There is a proper track somewhere. I suspect it's more up the hill. These are camping sites. So I'm going to go across here and up the top. An interesting set of mushrooms. This is the area that leads to the track. If we're going to find a track, walk across it for a while and see where it goes. I suppose I could get my GPS out and look at that. It might help. This seems to be different to anything I've been up with before. It's very strange. I think I need to check a GPS. That's the way back. So I'm way off the track. Well, I've followed my GPS signal. This says the track is round about here somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Every time I walk up here, I come up a different way. And I can't see a track there. Oh, maybe it's up there. Have a look up here. Doesn't look to be there either. Well, I've never been in this spot before. Well, I'll go back to GPS and follow it. The track's got to be around here somewhere. The GPS said I was in about 5 meters from the path, and I was. So now I'm walking around the track in the opposite direction. This is the way we normally come back down. So it will be different. It's always different walking in the reverse direction. And we'll be going through the undergrowth for a while. So, and as you can hear, we're starting to climb up the hill. It's always interesting when you walk in reverse. You don't realise your path comes down past these things. You're going back up past them through that gap. You get your legs scratched going up these things. I think I might need a stick. It's quite cool this morning, but then, as I say, it's only just off, well, quarter to 9 now, so it's fairly early to be up the mountain walking. Should be through this in a while and onto a more open path. There we are, through the undergrowth onto one of the Chiniero paths. Now, I could do the Stanno Chiniero walk up there, or the alternative, which no one walks that way. I don't know yet. I'm going to look at the map. I decided to walk on this Stanno Chiniero path. I'm under the pylons now, going up. If I remember rightly, around the corner is a fallen tree somewhere. But this climbs fairly rapidly, but it is a standard path in the guidebook, so it's what everybody walks on. The giant dandelions are getting quite big now, and there's the, well, if I could find it somewhere there, is that it? Is a mark that says this is a correct path if you don't know where you're going. Still, I'll climb a bit more. It's very rare I walk this direction, so normally you don't see what it's like because you're concentrating on the path. We're going up and up and up. For an horrible moment, I thought I'd forgot my pack of tissues to think about climbing on a fresh morning at 3,000 to 4,000 feet is hit and all, clear your lungs out. Well, it does look different when you're walking in the other direction. Should do it more regularly. Now on a nice easy path. It's levelled out. The main climb, or the start of the climb. First climb was behind us. This is an awkward bit of this path. Bit stony. Not very pleasant. The sun is just breaking through the trees, as you can probably see there. There is something about being in a forest, on a mountain, on your own in the morning. I don't know what it is. It's a different life to being down with the tourists in Los Cristianos. I suppose it's the silence, the trees, I don't know. It's just the amazement of it all. Unusual for me to walk with a stick in my left hand. Seems to be working this morning. We should be getting near the signpost that signs the walk to Chiniero and the volcano at Chiniero. I do have a route that I can follow. I don't think it goes to Chiniero. Well, it certainly doesn't go to Chiniero. I've told you in an hour and a half for this walk, so I'm limited to where I can get to in that time. But again, it's so beautiful up here and so quiet. It is amazing. Well, here we are crossing the first trike. I'm going to stay on this one. It's not what I normally want. If you're watching, Pauline, we got your Christmas card. Thank you very much. Hope you have a happy Christmas and New Year. It's I find it difficult now and then. I look at pictures of the Gilbert family, the school photo taken in about 1920 with the kids in their, well, I suppose it was a school photo. That was their best clothes, but no toes in their shoes, holes in their clothes. It's a long change from that to what people expect now. But I lost most of the contact with cousins as well, of course. It's difficult. We are getting older, I suppose. But have a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And it's nice to know somebody's watching now and then. And today, a car in the middle of nowhere. It will be a local collecting food for his goats. Right. I'll sign off for a bit. Hola, buenos días. Right. As I said, we would reach the Chinchero path. And there we are, this is the actual Chinchero path. They're collecting up the pine needles. It's interesting because the pine needles are one of the things that causes all the problems with fires out here. They've always done it, the farmers, the local farmers, and because of that, about 5-10 years ago, the government decided they'd tax them for doing it, so they stopped doing it. So we started getting forest fires, and now they've rescinded that, and they can come and collect these pine needles. You can see them on the floor. But in fires, of course, they burn like nobody's business. So they're helping keep the mountains and forests safe. Right. It's a long time since I walked this path. Normally I avoid this path because it's like the M25 at times. Well, another track that you're not supposed to go on. I have walked all these, but I'm going to stay on the path today, about 400 metres to the top of my walk. It's different. So I've not walked this path for a while, so I'll have a stop when we get to the top for some water, although it's not really warm enough yet to worry anyone. As you can see, we've got lots of pine needles here. We're now coming into the pine forest. The undergrowth is disappearing. We've still got bits, but shortly it will just be pines, nothing else. The foresters seem to have been out. There's just 2 or 3 areas I've noticed where they seem to have completely dug out and I did see about a dozen of them last time I was walking with trimmers. I think the fire that we had that took 2 months to put out, that was over the other side near Orotava, really made them sit up and realise that they could lose a lot of the island if they weren't careful. So this area, see, has been trimmed clear all the way down there. There's no undergrowth, all been cleared out. You can see the broken branches, and the same on this side. So they must be taking the threat have fired more seriously than they have done in the past. It's about 4 years since there was this last serious one, and they tend to get laissez-faire. But now, as I say, we're coming out of the areas where there are where there's lots of undergrowth. We're getting to the pine area. Well, I'm approaching the top of the walk now, about 200 metres to the top end of the track that goes down there. But 200 or 300 metres, and then it'll be a stop, probably for some water, and I'll check the time and see about coming down the hill. Meanwhile, we're still climbing and getting a bit higher. The sun is really getting up now, shining through the trees. It hasn't got any buds on. There are a set of bushes that have beautiful purple flowers on. We've passed them on the way back down. When they come out, both sides of the path are covered with these blue flowers, blue purple flowers. Really attractive. But not today. I don't know when they'll flower because the season seems to have really gone haywire. We've got a Kalima at present, extreme high temperatures. Our pools in Torridge aren't heated, but people are still swimming in them in December, which shows that the temperature has stayed high. But temperature is dependent on sun's radiance. I don't care what the CO2 so-called scientists say. I know what the census say is not what the scientists say. They have a belief and they produce data that backs up their belief. Mostly it's pushed by politicians and business who want to make money out of the taxes of the working people. There is no honesty amongst the thieves in the so-called elite population in the UK, or anywhere else for that matter. Europe is just as bad. Corruption out here is possibly worse than in England. Political corruption. And corruption between nations. I mean, Germany is awful for what it does to try and force other European companies and manufacturers out of business, but it's been doing it for years. Germany and France, they're desperate to get UK money back. They don't want the British, they only want the money, because that was the only way they could stabilise the euro. They needed the Bank of England and the UK stock market to stabilise it. So yeah, corruption on an industrial scale in the European Union. And the other thing is, this week, 300 illegal immigrants arrived in the Canaries from Senegal. There is as many arriving here as crossing the Channel. The press doesn't publicise it, they don't want people to know about it. But might sound familiar. Wages are kept low because of illegal immigration. The locals can't get health service because illegal immigrants are taking up all spaces. The first thing they do is to cart them all off to hospital to check them out. So 300 beds suddenly disappear and local people can't get seen to. It's immoral, but it's what big business wants. So we have to put up with the fact that the local people have to have reduced services to make money for business and politicians. Well, here I am, top of the walk, South Water. This is the point where I get soaked. I drink fizzy water with CO2 in it, and it expands twice when you're at this altitude, once from altitude and from the amount of CO2 dissolved. I didn't get wet this morning. So yeah, there is no difference between the EU and the UK as far as mistreatment of local citizens is concerned. Politicians and business treat local people like muck. I did note that they, on the television yesterday when I was watching it, the minimum wage in Spain's gone up to 1,130 some euros per month. A month being the contractual time that the business sets up with the worker. So in the case of the waiters, that's 65 hours a week for their 1,100 euros a month. Works out to about €5 an hour. There is a myth about wages in the EU, that how good they are. It's total garbage. The Remainers have no idea what goes on out here. They sit in their little ivory towers with lots of money in the bank. I say, they don't care. They don't care about workers. They don't care about anybody that they consider inferior to them. At some point in time, somebody will get rid of this elite group. I just hope I'm around to see it. But then, one never knows. Time to go. Okay, that's the path that takes you up to the top main track, and then up the path goes on up to Chiñero. I'm going to go down there, somewhere amongst that lot, and down to the bottom. I've been walking for just under an hour, 3/4 of an hour. I told you in an hour and a half, so 3/4 an hour back, and I should be on time. As you can see, I'm now on the way down. The sun shining through there, through those trees, is Montaña Negra. That's the volcano that wiped out Galachico about 400 years ago. The pines are just beginning to grow over on the lava field. I mean, people, when they had the eruption in La Palma, talked about, a couple of years it'll be growing again. Total nonsense. It'll take 400 or 500 years before there's anything on the lava. There'll be bits, and the odd seed gets in, but the idea that it's going to recover rapidly is nonsense. Wishful thinking by the tourist boards. These are the bushes that have the flower on, as I was telling you about, a purplish flower. I did the other week see some new growth. I mean, there's new growth on there, but no buds. These are all last year's buds that are dead, look. So I don't know, maybe it's August when these are out. But as we go down, both sides will be covered in these things. You see they're growing on the sides here and on that side, and it gets even, as a path, it goes down to a path from this track, it gets even more and more like that. I see the buds on this one. No, I can't see anything in the way of buds. There's nothing, so just apart from new growth, as I say, last year's. Oh well, we will wait, it will happen at some time. It was a bit windy down in Las Cristianas yesterday. It's obviously windy. This is a sign that I mean, if you look up there, you'll get this moss all over the trees. and when it's windy it just gets blown off and broken. So they must have had some strong winds up here, which is not unusual. They do get strong winds up here. These are the bushes that will be purple on that side and this side and all the way down. You can see right down there, there's banks of them. It really is quite beautiful when they're out. But the weather's been very odd this year. We had very high temperatures, and then for 3 or 4 days it rained, kind of. Not like England. We had some water falling from the skies, but not a lot of it. It does rain up here, but the reason it's green up here is because we're in the clouds. We're on the side where the wind comes off the Atlantic, comes up the mountain. So they get watered by the clouds, and the clouds come over, and the plants take the moisture out of the cloud. But they do get a lot of runoff as well. As I said, all these will be covered in purple flowers later on. Why I'm showing you a distant thing, I don't know. But still, this bit is a bit iffy. As I'm coming down, the growth on these plants is getting bigger. More growth now. It's obviously better for it the lower down we go, but still no buds on those. So I don't know. These are part of it. These have got enormous growth on. They've got a foot of growth this year. There are some nice colours on rocks and things. The moss that grows. As I say, we're in the area where cloud comes in fairly regularly, so the mosses do grow well. In fact, the stuff that I showed you in the trees would be ideal for hanging baskets, and possibly for growing orchids in. I have a couple of orchids at home that I'm growing, and I suppose I ought to try something. See, that's a new one of the bushes starting to grow, so it seeded itself. Yeah. Yes, this kind of thing. I should bring myself a little bag and collect a bag of that to grow things in. Not that I'm sure it's allowed. These are barriers put in to stop molefish trying to drive up to Chinero on these tracks. You wouldn't believe the damage they do. Quad bikes, beach buggies, they all think it doesn't matter if they destroy the environment as long as they make money. More interesting. You don't actually need a Christmas tree up here. You could come and decorate one of these. Really quite nice. So you can see the sun is now really out. But the different varieties of pines and trees and all as well is enormous colours. The greens, the different greens are amazing. So are the different forms of plant. Well, there's a different one. It's got leaves that hang down. And back into the shade, it's a bit cooler. I'm walking in a hoodie today. When I got out of the car I realised it wasn't single layer walking, it needed a second layer. Look at that pine. Thousands of trees like that. Nearly at the bottom of the walk now, and now we're in bramble country. This is where the brambles grow in profusion. You don't want to be off the track here. We have done that once or twice to our pain. The things, the brambles tear your legs to shreds. Oh, terrible. So, yeah, we don't go there again. Right, now, I have a left turn here, I think. Let me just look at the map. Because, yes, I turn left. I must go down there. I don't recognise this. These are the plants that will have the purple flower on all the way down. Both sides of this will be just solid purple and blue. A bit of pink here and there. I shall have to walk it once every 2 or 3 weeks just to find out when it says, oh, we're coming to the pylons, we're going to cross under the pylons. Ah, now I know where we are. This is the bit where we used to get lost. We have a left turn somewhere down here. Now, I need to check them out. Going to this, I turn left. The path goes to the right or to the left, and I go to the left. So, this is where we're going, under the pylons. The trouble is finding the track out from under the pylons. I'll blow this up a bit. Well, it says I'm on the bottom road, which is nonsense, I'm not. Somewhere on the right there has to be a track off. Maybe it's up there. Walk a bit further and see. Ah, there's a track there to the right. We certainly don't stay under the pylons, and we do start to walk downhill according to the contour line, so that would be the way out. There we are. As you can see, the weather has got glorious. Pylons go way back that way. They clear the land so they can get in to repair them. But we're now nearly to the bottom of the walk. Last time I was out down this track, the foresters were trimming the undergrowth. I'll show you one of the giant dandelions. There's track. There's a giant dandelion. It will be 6 foot tall, and where some fool is trying to drive a car up there, they wreck this path regularly. This was one of the areas that they trimmed. As you can see, they've taken a lot of the undergrowth out. So less risk of fire, but they had done it on both sides further down. It's nice walking now. I need a stick. There's little vegetation. It looks like grass. I don't think it is grass. A different type of tree there, look. Not the normal pine, it's a different kind of pine. Don't know how many varieties there are. This is really nice. I have never walked in this direction. Yeah, quite pretty walking this way. As you can see, the vegetation is now quite different. We've lost the pines. We're in normal tree kind of countryside. The foresters have really taken out the undergrowth. This used to be covered in all sorts of, like that side. Those are giant dandelions over there, and there's one there. But lots of other stuff, and they're just taking it all out completely. I suppose it will grow again. And it does make it look very different. Well, another 5 minutes or so and I'll be back at the minibus, so we'll switch off again. This is growing because what they've done is chopped out all the brambles. I can see the dead brambles now. But that's allowed this, whatever that plant is, to get in. And it's just forming a green blanket over. It would be nice if the brambles aren't there, because they're not very attractive and do block a lot of paths as well. Well, I was about 200 metres from the minibus, I suppose. But, I wasn't sure which track to take, so I took this path. So we're in the undergrowth again. I presume this takes me to the campsite behind where the minibus is parked. Well, we'll find out in a second or two. Can't be that far. Turn off while I go on this hill. Well, I think this is the path I can never find out of the campsite. I'll have to look at the map in a minute, but the road is down to the right somewhere. Directly in front of us runs towards the road into San Jose. Let me look at the map, see where I am on the map. If it ever tells the truth. Well, yes. Oh, it's just jumped back 200 metres. Now it says I'm walking down towards the minibus, it says. I don't know. We'll just keep going for a while, see where we go to. It's we're still recording, aren't we? It will not hurt. All I have to do is to turn right and walk down the hill to the road. Oh, there are cars and mobile homes and minibuses over here. Oh, must be the road. Oh, according to this, I'm only 100 metres from the minibus. There we are. Well, that was interesting. Another bit of stuff sorted. Walking. Oh, the walkers are beginning to arrive to start walking. A bit late in the day. But who am I? We were the only ones here first thing this morning when we started walking. As you can see, there are people about now. And that's the end of my walk. It's been a very nice walk. I enjoyed that. I must remember next time that walking that in reverse is a nicer way to walk. Much more attractive. So, minibus. Yes, there we are. Now look, the little farmer's there. He has a that's his his van pulled along by his rotavator. Let's see if we can get through here to my van.